Welcome to repairs for the Triumph 2500 Mark 1. Not really repairs as such, even though I'm sure I will find things wrong with it. It's more that time of year again when it's time to service it. So change the oil and filters and give it a good clean and check over. The only thing I know is wrong is there's a fairly severe oil leak. It's a Triumph after all. So first job is to get the sump guard off. Oh, better change the oil, I suppose. This car has two oil filters on it. It's got a spin-on adaptation, which has got, I don't know, I think it's a Nissan oil filter, I'm not sure. It's also got a Z9 on it, on the lead that comes to the oil cooler that's just behind here. The if you could call it the original one in the original location, has to come off from underneath, and the other one from up top. So let's do that. Okay, this is a I don't know what it's off. It's a well, this Z9 filter is in the line that goes from the adapter on the side of the engine through into the oil filter, oil cooler, the front. And I put this on, and this is the first time I've changed the oil since doing that. It was always going to be a bit dodgy on getting it on and off. It was all very good to put it on when everything was nice and new and what have you, but might be a bit trickier getting it off. I thought it'd be hard to undo it, but it was tight, but that's not the problem, it's getting it out. I must have put this on, well, because it's full of oil, you can't tip it over without getting oil everywhere, and I think that was the main problem, but it's relatively painless, so it's out now. Got a bit crushed in the process. That's the same setup as what's on the Dolly and the TR7. And normally I would fill this oil filter with oil before putting it on. In the Dolly and the 7, there's very easy access to where I put it. But this car, it's a little bit more difficult, so I won't be filling it up with oil. What I'll do is I'll pull the rotor button out before I start it and just wind it over till it fills the filter up before starting it. See if getting this on is any easier than it was getting it off. Being able to manipulate it all over the place makes it a lot easier to put it on. I don't remember doing it up with the wrench thing. Normally I just do them up hand tight. It's very hard to get to, so I still will do that. Always tightened up if it does leak. Considering how much oil this car was leaking last time I drove it, it's surprisingly sort of clean under there. Some cars got plenty of oil on it, but the sort of engine and all the other stuff under there seems pretty clean. I think I put that on the wrong way. I did. Silly person. Well, better put some oil in it before I forget. Well, here's the sump guard. It's not really a sump guard, it's more of a skid plate, but it does what this car does. Doesn't need a, it's not a rally car as such. So anyway, as you can see, there's a lot of oil on here, considering there's not that much on the underside, so it's going to be a puzzle on where it's coming from. Now this is a nappy on this car. It's absorbent material. That's just a bit of black cardboard to sort of hide it, if you like. It is literally nappy material. I just go and buy nappies from the sort of shop and cut them up and put them on here, and then put this sheet of cardboard over the top and these straps of aluminium to keep it all in place, and it absorbs a lot of the oil so that it doesn't leave oil on the ground wherever it goes. But wherever the oil's coming from now, it's worse than what it was, and this is not up to the task anymore. I will investigate in due course. First, I need to get this off. Well, as you can see, the nappies are doing their job. I'm sure the manufacturers didn't envisage them used as a car nappy, but there you go. Bit of LED greaser stuff to get the bulk of it off for now. So I remember replacing this not all that long ago. Looks pretty grubby, so there's another one in the boot of this car. I change that every now and then. I don't remember when I last did it, so I better have a bit of a look, what? When we got this car, it was a body shell, and I think it sat in our backyard for, I think some years before we touched it. So the fuel tank got pretty grubby in that time. You'd call rusty, I guess. And that meant that we had a fair bit of trouble with the fuel system for a while after that. It basically well, the fuel filters used to block up quite often. In fact, we had quite a few fuel filters in the boot for that first 6 months we had it on the road. I seem to remember there was about 3 of these filters in the boot, and this one in the front of the car, and we had to keep changing them all the time until the tank eventually ran out of muck. This car has 2 fuel filters in it. One's in the engine bay, the other one's here in the boot. So I'm just going to change that too. I haven't changed this one for a while. One in the engine bay gets done every year, but this one's been some years. Sort of blank that off, otherwise it'll just gravity feed and petrol will go everywhere. Well, in the process of checking things out, this boot on the tie rod end has perished away. Now, I only replaced this tie rod end maybe 6 months ago, a bit more maybe. The other side one that's replaced at the same time, the boot's on that alright. But this one's buggered. Came from a well-known Triumph supplier. And the wrong spanner. But because I had the boot, the tie rod ends that came off it, yeah, because I had the tie rod ends that came off it, that one of those had a decent boot on it, so I'll just swap the boot over. Always a bit surprised that boots for ball joints and tie rod ends are not readily available. They probably are available, certainly if you just go to your spare parts supplier, they certainly don't have them. It's one thing about getting old, getting up and down to work on these cars is getting harder and harder. Well, that was nice. Something goes smoothly for once. Well, that's about it for this episode, so tune in same duck time, same duck channel for more mechanical mayhem on the poor old Mark 1. Bye for now.